On this week's episode of The Social Update, Instagram say they are no longer a photo sharing app. Instagram is also testing links in stories for everyone. Yes, for everyone. Facebook is testing a newsletter feature. 3-minute TikToks, anyone? Hi, my name is Brian and welcome to The Social Update, where I give you all the news about everything that's happening in social media every week to help guide your brand online. Let's get into it. You know, we always start with Instagram. Now, this week, the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, came on Instagram to say that Instagram is no longer a photo sharing app. But I'm gonna let him say it how he says it best.
By saying we're no longer a photo sharing app or a square photo sharing app.
Now, a lot of trouble has been stirred up by this statement. And I think, you know, if you hadn't kind of seen that coming, or if you hadn't known that already, maybe you're living in a fantasy world, and there's so many things to do on Instagram. There's stories, reels, shopping, IGTV, video in the feed. There's just so many things to do on Instagram. If you didn't know that it was kind of beyond just a photo sharing app, maybe you should have added a just in there. But yes, he emphasized later on that they're not devaluing photos. They're not gonna like, oh, you can't post photos no more, because obviously that would be very silly. But they are moving on from being photos. They are now going into a video app, and it makes a lot of sense. I have my own opinions about it, but this is not the place for it, and I'll do a separate video and we can talk about if this is good or bad for Instagram. On the surface of it, it makes sense because video has not peaked yet, and I've said this before, video has not necessarily peaked yet. There are not enough people creating video like there are that much people making blogs or writing text and writing books or tweeting even, or writing captions, versus, you know, taking pictures, because these things are easier to make. Creating a video is very hard, right? And at the beginning of this year, I did a webinar, and it was about the future of content creation. And one thing I said was video, right? I did a podcast the other day, and it was also recorded on video. You go on radio, they also have the video version, right? Everything is video, right? And it has not gotten to the point where everybody is creating video yet. So Instagram is just kind of moving with the wave. Stories kind of slowly brought that video feel in. Same with Vine, and you know, Instagram was a photo sharing app, and then until Vine started doing video, that's when they said, okay, well, we need to compete on video. And then subsequently that kind of took Vine out, because people were creating the videos on Instagram, right? It was 15 seconds in the feed, and it went to 1 minute, right? And then they had stories, and then they got IGTV to compete with YouTube, and now they've got Reels to compete with TikTok. We're living in a video world. If you're not doing any video, stop watching this episode right now and go and practice your video, right? I've been saying this for a very long time. Get into video. So now they're moving into video among some other things, but we'll talk about that in another episode, in its own episode. But they're no longer a photo app. So get it in your head. This is the reality, but let me know what you think about what Instagram said down in the comments. So Instagram wants to give everybody the ability to share a link in stories, but not with the swipe up. They're changing it. They're going to change it to a sticker, because that makes sense. Also, a couple of months ago, I also reported that they might be changing, you know, you swipe left or right to view stories. They might be changing it to up and down, the same way you view Reels and TikToks and the feed. Everything is up and down. It's only stories that is kind of left to right, which kind of makes it unnatural compared to what the other movements you do on the app. So they could be changing that, and that makes sense, because you wouldn't be able to swipe up if you had to swipe up to see the next stories, right? So that could be happening. But yes, they want to give the link sticker to everybody. Now it's about time, right? It's about time, because if you think about any other social media app, they allow you to link off the app. Snapchat, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn. None of them, apart from TikTok, but none of them have a problem with allowing people to have a link that goes off their app, because it's not that deep. Instagram, it's not that deep. So they're testing it. They don't need to test it, because right now, the way Instagram is so big, and the way so many businesses and creators are using Instagram for sales and etc., it's just damn near criminal at this point to just not give the link in stories to everyone. Saying link in bio is too much. Nobody wants to view someone's story, have to come out and then go to their bio. It's just ridiculous at this point. It's not gonna break Instagram if you allow us to link out. So they are testing that, and they don't really need to. They just need to release that and give that to everybody. It's been 10 years. It's not that deep. There doesn't need to be some kind of fake hierarchy, or you've got 10,000 followers. It means absolutely nothing, right? It means absolutely nothing to have 10,000 followers just to get the link. It just like the creator economy is here. Creators are creating for brands from all sizes, 5,000, 2,000 followers, 7,000 followers. 10,000 is no longer the threshold for a creator or an influencer anymore, right? You can be anywhere, it can be one of these things, and with any amount of followers that you have, right? It's no longer the threshold. Before we continue the video, did you know that I have a newsletter version of the social update? All you have to do is click the link in the description. Now, obviously the video will be linked in there, and it will be more of a blog style, and there'll be more takeaways and lessons that we're learning from these videos. So it'll be a bit more in depth than what I can say in this video. And also will be in there is the stuff that didn't make the episode, right? Otherwise the episode would just be 2 hours long. So the stuff that didn't make the episode will be in the newsletter. So of course I would love for you to subscribe. The link is in this description of this video. See, so bottom line for me is that they just need to release this because it's really not that deep. They're testing to see how people would use it. Like, come on dudes, man, come on. Yeah, at this point you're just the enemy of progress. But let me know. I'm definitely excited for that. Hopefully they can just release it by the end of this month, and we can just put it all behind us. Let me know what you think about everybody having links in stories and everybody being able to link out, right? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Right. So Facebook is testing their newsletter feature, right? Facebook just does everything. Like, they just want to take over the world. They want to do everything. Like Facebook car probably coming soon, Facebook country, Facebook light bulbs. I don't know. Facebook just clearly want to be the app that does everything. And this is to compete with Substack and Review. So Twitter just bought an email platform called Review, and they're integrating it into Twitter, and that's kind of like Twitter's version of like doing long form writing and publishers, because Substack, which is another emails newsletter platform, which allows people to charge for newsletters, right? You can be paying £10 a month for a newsletter, £5, £3 a month, and there's writers that are making 100,000 plus, 50,000 plus a year writing newsletters, right? Loads of journalists have left their job as journalists to pursue their own personal newsletters, and loads of writers and publishers are making a really good living off writing a daily, weekly newsletter, right? So Facebook wants to get in on the action. So they want to allow publishers, that's what they call them, publishers, to distribute a newsletter. So again, you know, I'm probably gonna ask about data and privacy. So you get to keep the email. So, you know, just like if you use MailChimp, Review, or Substack, you get to have your email. So if you want to download all your emails, you can take those emails and take them to another email platform, right? That's the great thing about email. Whereas if I'm on Instagram, I can't download all the followers and transfer them to Twitter and say, hey, all these people are following me on Twitter. No, I'm just using this as a platform to communicate. But that is one of the great things about email. So they're just currently testing it with a few. It's called Facebook Bulletin. I don't think it will probably compete really with Substack, because Facebook has a bad reputation with data. They just abused data, just let people get away with data that is just leaking everywhere. So it's a good idea and it's a bad idea for Facebook. I don't think it's really going to kick off. I don't think a lot of people will use it. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to lure some of the reputable journalists or publishers or newsletter writers. Like personally, I've got a newsletter, and I wouldn't use Facebook, man. I wouldn't use Facebook for my newsletter. So let me know what you think about Facebook getting into newsletters down below. Will you use it? Do you think it's going to kick off? Do you think they can somehow lure people to using it? I want to know down in the comments. So TikTok have been teasing 3-minute videos, and now they have finally released 3-minute videos to everyone. Now, some people don't like it, some people do like it. For me, it's an indication that they are now competing with the likes of YouTube and IGTV, because once you go past 1 minute, it's long form video, and that is what YouTube and IGTV is all about. Now, it's just funny because everybody seems to be jumping on TikTok with the reels and the shorts and the spotlight, right? They seem to be jumping on TikTok, and as soon as they've jumped on the TikTok wave, TikTok is like, well, we're on a new wave, we're doing longer form videos now, right? And it kind of makes sense. They said they wanted to kind of help people that are doing tutorials like cooking or clothes or decorating, and they're just talking, right, or just doing a series, and it'll just allow them to have longer time, because squeezing stuff in 1 minute video is very tough depending on what you're kind of showing, right? If you're showing something that's kind of long-winded, you see people rushing all the time, right? And you see people like, oh, stay tuned for part 3, part 4, because sometimes 1 minute just isn't a lot, right? So you need 3 minutes. And now, yeah, there might be a part 2 with the 3 minutes, but there might not be, because saying something in 1 minute versus 3 minutes is a very big difference, right? So less of this, oh, stay tuned for part 2 and you've got to wait 2 weeks for part 2. No, they can just all say it in one video. And I absolutely am here for it. I'm putting 3-minute videos on TikTok. I'm watching 3-minute videos on TikTok because I'm used to watching longer videos on YouTube. But let me know what you think about 3-minute TikTok videos. Are you going to be using them? Do you hate them? Do you skip them? Let me know down in the comments. So it's Twitter's turn to copy Instagram. Even though Instagram never copied Twitter, so I don't even know why the hell I said that. But it's Twitter's turn to copy Instagram. They are copying the close friends feature. So they want to be able to allow you to segment your tweets, so you don't just tweet to the timeline. You can have a selected friends list, and it'll be the same green. It looks exactly like close friends. You have a selected friends list that you will tweet directly to them, and only they will see it, right? They will maybe see a label that is green that says you on this list, and you can see it, and it pops out on the feed. And I think this is great. Just like I think the close friends list on Instagram is great, being able to segment your followers on your own feed, right, and say, well, this is for you special guys, right? You want to get on my list, you know, this is for you special guys. And it's kind of close to what they're doing with their super follows, right? So if you pay someone on Twitter that they're working on, you'll be able to get exclusive tweets, and it's kind of similar to that, but I guess it's the free version of super follows, right? And I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea being able to segment, so you don't have to necessarily, like, some people get a whole other account just to talk maybe to their friends or to a specific people, just to say what they want in terms of, you know, even on their Instagram or on their Twitter, right? Which is very long. So I think this is very good because it can be highly targeted, right? It can be highly targeted. And again, if it's a smaller audience, your engagement will technically go up, because if you're, you know, tweeting to about 10 people versus 10,000, yeah, if all those 10 people like it, well, then that is 100% engagement rate, right? Versus if you have 10,000 people and 10 people like it, that's like 0.0000001% engagement rate. So you get what I mean? So I think it's technically a good idea. Hopefully they just released it. It's something that they said they're working on. They're just testing. They're just seeing the possibilities they're talking about. They don't know if they will release it. So I would not hold your breath for that feature, but I do think it's a good feature, especially for Twitter. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. It's the quick updates section. Let's go. So Instagram could be getting into NFTs, and I have a section on your profile which is collectibles, and people can buy these NFTs. If you don't know what NFTs is, just go on YouTube and type NFTs and you will be confused as hell. But there's these collectibles where you can buy a collectible, like maybe it's a picture of a cat and someone could put it up and it'll be a collectible and somebody could own that picture from you. They are currently testing this and seeing if it will work. YouTube is making a theater this summer in Hollywood. Now, if you ask me, obviously it's well overdue. I think every kind of streaming platform, YouTube, TikTok is even getting into TV, so eventually they might make it to cinema. YouTube, Netflix, Prime, HBO, whoever these streaming platforms are, all of them should kind of make a cinema. But I'm excited to see the level of quality and the level of production that YouTube will bring to the cinema, and hopefully we can get one in London, UK, Canada, everywhere. But let me know what you think. Now that is it for this week's The Social Update. And you know what I gotta say, you've just been updated. Let me know what you think about everything in the comments. Please share it with a friend, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one.